My name is Jack Halverstadt. I am currently a music education major. I play trumpet in the band.
So, Jack, where are you from?
I am from a small town outside St. Louis called O'Fallon, Illinois. Our town isn't really known for much except our marching band, which is ranked pretty highly. The high school marching band, sorry, which is ranked pretty highly in the U.S. A couple years ago, when I was still marching in it, we got 13th place in the BYU Grand Nationals, which is a national competition for the whole country where high school bands come and compete.
Out of the whole country, that's pretty impressive. And so, what semester is this for you here at school?
This is my second semester.
Second, okay. And you said you play trumpet?
Yes.
And how long have you played trumpet for?
I've been playing trumpet around 10 years. I started in the 5th grade.
All right. And was there any particular reason that you picked trumpet out of all the instruments that you could play?
Yes, actually. So my brother, he used to play trumpet. So that always inspired me. And I thought it would be fun that if I learned trumpet, then we could be in band together. So
That's pretty cool. I went a different route. Me and all my brothers all play different instruments.
really,
Yeah. And so you were recently part of the Honor Band of America. So for anyone who doesn't know, what is that? What does that entail?
so the honor band was run by Music for All and Bands of America, which is a organization in the U.S. that gives kids all over the country opportunities to get involved in music. But anyway, so what the honor band was is that kids from all around the country, and it ended up being, I think, 34 states, came. They got permission from their band directors. The band directors had to send in a recommendation for them to be in this band. And so throughout the whole year, these students would get music and instruction just through like Zoom and emails, and they'd have all this stuff sent to them. And then they would practice it on their own. And then about 3 days before the Rose Parade, everyone flies to California and we start rehearsing together.
Only 3 days before you all perform, just 3 days of practice together. How hard was that? Because I know there's a pretty big difference between playing on your own versus playing with other people.
It was pretty difficult. And to be honest, I didn't know it could be done. I thought it would fall on its face and it would be bad, but it wasn't. It wasn't. We had great directors, great staff, and more importantly, we had great students. And everyone came, they knew their part for the most part, and everyone adapted well, and everyone was very determined. They all wanted to be there, and it was great.
Nice. And what's the size of this band?
I would say it's between 200 and 300 kids. Mm-hmm.
How did you get in the band?
I got a recommendation from my band director, and she sent it to Music for All.
Were a lot of kids from a band that you're in recommended?
Oh, yeah. There were about 5 kids from my school. 3 of us had already graduated, but we had just hit the cutoff of how old you can be to go.
And so in the Rose Parade, where's that held at?
That is held in Pasadena, California.
And that was it a marching band?
Yes, it was a marching band. Yes. So like you said, like you already asked, the marching band was about 200 to 300 students. Most of them were high schoolers. Some had already graduated. But we all marched in the Rose Bowl Parade, which is held on New Year's Day for the Rose Bowl in celebration of that. And it's about a 5-mile parade.
Wow. And so I guess everyone who is in this had to have had marching band experience, not just regular band experience.
Yes.
Yeah, because I've done band, but I did not do marching band. But I can imagine it's a lot harder than playing stationary.
Yes.
About how many pieces of music did you guys learn and play in the parade?
So We actually learned three pieces of music because there before the parade they have something called Band Fest, which is where all the high school bands get together and they perform their like field show that they had for that year for parents and anyone else that wants to watch. But because the honor band wasn't together for like football season and it had just been made, we had to create our own little field show in about a day. So we played three pieces. We played For Good from Wicked. We played Times Like These by the Foo Fighters. And we played a song called Illuminations, which I think was written by one of our directors, but I'm not sure. But we played these three songs for the field show. And then for the parade, we just played Illuminations and Times Like These.
All right. Which was your favorite out of all those?
I would probably say Times Like These.
Times Like These, pretty nice. Let's see. And so remind me again, your major music education, you said?
Yes.
All right. So what do you hope to go into with that after school?
Well, to be honest, right now, I kind of want to switch to music performance. But if I were to keep pursuing the music education, I would hopefully become a high school band director. And I would like to direct a marching band of my own and give kids the same experience that I had.
Mm-hmm. Did your marching band teacher have a pretty big impact on you?
Oh, yes. She was great. Yeah. She was really inspiring. She really cared for all of her students. She wanted to give them the best. She was actually one of the directors for the Rose Parade band, too. So the directors
Nice.
of the Rose Parade band, the honor band, were Dr. Melissa Gustus von Heinz. She was the assistant director. And then the main director was Mr. Richard Saucedo, who is like the head judge for Bands of America and was the director for Carmel High School for a very long time. And so they're both great directors. I'm very grateful. Dr. G, or Gustus von Heinz, she was my band director. And so it meant a lot to be able to be in a band with her one last time.
I guess what was like the coolest part about it?
The coolest part? Ooh, that is a hard question because there are so many awesome things. First off, the people that I met there were phenomenal. Not just the students that I worked with, but the staff and obviously the directors. They were great people. But as far as it comes to the Rose Parade itself, like marching down the street and just seeing all these people lined up and they're all just here to see you. And you're not just there to make music. You're there to lighten their days. Like some people travel like hours just to see you march and like just seeing the smiles on their faces and the joy that you bring them. It's just something that sticks with you forever.
Yeah, that's way cool. And was there, I don't know, anything else about the parade experience or anything doing that you want to share?
It was very long and it was very challenging. It was, I think I said before, but it was 5 miles. You don't really get to stop very much. Luckily, they gave us a break right in the middle, which is not normal. But I guess something changed in the parade this year because I've actually marched in it twice. But yep, it's a very long parade. It takes a lot of stamina and hard work. You got to build up physically. You can't just go in never marching before. Like I would run and I would work up to it before I flew to California for the parade.
Wow. And did you say you marched in this parade twice before?
Yes, I marched in this parade back in 2022 with my high school band. They went, and the first time I did it, it's probably the most difficult thing I've ever done.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, it's good that you had those other 2 times to help build up to it, know what to expect a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And so here, BYU-Idaho, you're relatively newish here. I guess, how are you liking it so far?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I like being able to wake up every morning and see the mountains outside. It's so great. And everyone here is so nice. And all the professors, They are so outgoing and they just want the best for their students.
Yeah, it's a pretty great place. And I guess before you learned trumpet, did you have a pretty big interest in music? Was there anything in your life that really got you interested in music?
Yes, my dad is a musician, not professionally, but he loves to play drums, guitar, and all that. So he got me on the drums when I was little. So I actually started out with that. And then when I was in fifth grade, I started to learn the trumpet for school. So I just decided to switch over completely and I started learning trumpet instead of drums.
Do you still play the drums at all, like for fun?
I do, yes.
Yeah, well, drums are pretty fun. They're a good instrument, just kind of have on the back burner. I guess it's a pretty broad question here, but why is music important in your life?
I might have to think about that one a
Yeah,
little
no,
bit.
no.
You know, why is music important to me? Like you said, it's a broad question. It's not so simple. And it's not even just like listening to music. Like for me, is music brings people together. I've made some of my best friends through music and through band. And I would never have been able to make those connections without it. And even then, listening to music still means a lot to me too, because I feel like it really helps me bring out who I am and it helps me connect to the spirit also.
No, that's true. I can really relate to and understand that. What are some, I guess, being as big a fan of music as you are, who are some like your favorite artists and bands that inspire you and that you love?
Um, Although I play trumpet, my favorite music is rock. So my favorite artists are, they're not very well known because they're from the 90s, so no one really listens to them these days. But they're called Stone Temple Pilots. They're a grunge band.
What musical goals do you have? I guess if you said you might change your major, so I guess what goals do you have for you and your musical ability and everything in the future?
Well, my goal is I've always loved watching movies, and I love movies in every single way. I love cinematography. I love the action. I love the stories. But more than that, I love the music. Like the soundtracks of movies, they always hit so hard. So I've always thought it would be awesome if one day I could play in the big orchestras that record movie music and be a part of that. So that's my plan, is to one day be in an orchestra and record movie music.
That'd be pretty cool. What movies have like your favorite scores?
Well, number one is always Star Wars because
Classic.
we've got the legend John Williams. He's probably written the music for all my favorite movies: Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Harry Potter, all those. I also love Howard Shore's music in The Lord of the Rings. Very good. I feel like it hits home.
Was there a time in your life when you wanted to do something else other than music?
Yes, before I wanted to do music, I wanted to become a movie director and direct films because that's probably my second biggest love in life is film.
That's pretty cool. So it seems like whatever it was always built around that creativity and just making stuff.
Yes.
I guess last question I have is, what advice would you give to people who are maybe newer to music, trying to learn more and get better?
My biggest advice is, first off, that you don't have to do music. Like a lot of people who go into music feel like music is their life and that's the only path you can go down. And it's not. It's not. So don't ever feel like you have to go through music. But if you do want to go into music, it is great. It's a phenomenal experience. Um, my biggest piece of advice is to just practice, 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 practice. And you're going to hear that from everyone. And it's going to get so boring sometimes, so boring. But like the saying, practice makes perfect. And it's true. It does.